opportunity of maybe the likes of Malawi would want to proceed to the #1 spot. However, it is the lady herself, Akona Makalima, who will be ushering this game, assisted by Venistasio Ukosa and Asin Caesar Dlangamandla. And a fourth official, that is Vistoria Shangura, who the four will be just guiding these young stars on how they would rather want the match to proceed, and they better not step on the wrong side of the official, because bookings are forever on a standby and feeling very hot in a referee's pocket. Well, choosing offside is one of the important tasks. But this side, Zambia, having to just bring back the experience, the likes of Prince Mumba and Mumba and Joshua Mutale, who was substituted on the previous match. But at the center, we're still keeping the four as is. And Malawi having made just one change, bringing on Maxwell Paipi. And Blessing Mpogera is one of the players at the center back who will be starting this match, considering that his teammate was injured, that is Innocent Shema, so he will be sitting on the bench. Maybe later on coaches will then look into bringing fresh legs. That is Peri Mutupa, and having a coach like Patrick Mapedi, a smart coach that is, and you better also understand that he is a very creative coach and a smart coach to read the game. If you bear with us, that you see the wind quite strong and blowing the jerseys of the players as well. So also be aware that some of our cameras will be having a bit of a shaky visual, but not all will go away, because strong arms and a strong eye coming from that vision camera. We then about to kick start, and Malawi will be centering this one as Akona Makalima gives them a go-ahead, and a long shot played towards the keeper. Of course, take advantage of the wind. That is Malawi versus Zambia, COSAFA Under-20 Youth Championships. A game that is people sitting at the edge of their seats, and it has eventually come to life, and it kicked off right here at the Wolfson Stadium at 15:30. And don't forget that we can also be live, not that we can, rather we are live on www.cosafa.tv. and remember, our social pages are still active and engageable. That is COSAFA Under-20 on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. And Instagram is that the pages will be engageable if you need to share your view or your point. There's a young man who's also just started the match again, and a previous match was substituted. That is Joshua Mutale. Left side, Patrick Mabedi, should it all go against him, or maybe should Zambia put more pressure on him? He will most likely just sit back and relax and wait for them to come at him, to come at his squad, because a point puts him at a better place, and he also gets to advance. Here's our assistant ref with a smile on his face. You've got to just give credit to our assistant referees with their pace, trying to catch up with these balls that are being thrown in the air and the long runs being put in. Well, they have passed their fitness test, so state of readiness on Venistasio Thomas Kosa is very, very high, and the likes of Caesar Sean Langamandla is also high, so nobody will say they are not fit enough. A game that will really require a strong character when it comes to the officials, and without a doubt we have the best on the field. Ball to Zambia to find Prince Mumba, and played long, trying to find the main man, Jimmy Mukeya, who's starting today. Mukeya trying to find Martin Njovu, picked up by Hastings Panda. Not a ball by the run coming from Joshua Mutale. Swung long. They're taking advantage of the wind. That is Malawi. Not letting the ball play on the ground. They would rather want to see it in the opponent's half. Oh, you see the positional play that they will rather want to execute when it comes to Zambia. It will really require them to keep the ball on the ground, especially having three on the center of the park, which is Prince Mumba, Joshua Mutale, and Mumba. If you play long against the wind, then you've destroyed the center of the park. Now you're depending on the wingers and the front line, that is Martin Njobu and Golden Mashata alongside Jimmy Mukeya, who's starting this match. Now putting pressure coming from this Speedy Gonzalez, Josefi Palaski. No, who's another active and energetic man, Prince Mumba. Ball launched long to target Jimmy Mukeya, but centre back blessing Mpoker rather is alert and able to just read that pass. It's a fresh man having his first game of the squad, so it will be of interest now that he's took over from Emmanuel Hamunyela, who is a bit of feeling a knock rather on his right hamstring. Coach maybe could also be resting the young man, just giving another young man an opportunity to present his abilities. Now here's a chance by Malawi, but intercepted by that big man. If you know, that is Golden Mafento. He's playing his 6th game for the Zambian national team. Now Zambia on the park with Martin Njobu finding Prince Mumba. Ball intercepted there in the center quickly by Malawi. Now, again with an option to find Prince Mumba, the captain. The greatest force coming from Andrew Piri. Ball with Malawi going to Zebron Kalima, and Zebron finds that big man Chikondi Mbeta, but kind of bully the big man as well. That is a Golden Mafento, who's a strong man, and he now sits on this man Zebron before he gets up. Now Golden trying to be smart and just shove your way as a centre back, playing the player more than you. Actually, then it could have been a simple booking, because he was now playing out of the ball, but because of his strength is just the wind just did him wrong. The ball moved the moment he was about to make contact. I can tell you that they need to keep them down, and to keep it down most of the time and pass one another. It was the only team with the advantage now, because towards the wind is Malawi. But can they use that to their advantage? It looked like it. It was the first attempt of the ball from the center was a long-range shot to test the keeper, and unfortunately it went just over the crossbar. Ball with Malawi by Mumba. And one of the players who quite quiet in this game, not rather in this game, he's a silent sniper, should we say. He shows up where necessary, doesn't rush to situations he's not familiar with. If we look at the likes of Patrick Igonda, oh, he's not starting today, and was COSAFA best player for the under 20 2019, and one of the players that had traveled to Spain with the La Liga partnership. Played 6 games under 2018, 1 game, 2019, 5 games. He has scored 2 goals in the semi-finals against Angola. Plays for Ghana Football Club in Zambia, that is. With a busy man, that is Joshua. O'Connor doesn't waste no time. It says that if you pull them, I pull out a card from my pocket and dish it out to you. That is Maxwell Upapi. Well, not the greatest way to start your first half, Sir Maxwell. You'll have pretty wings pulling other players. Could have now rather guided the player out. They need to stretch those pretty wings to pull a player. I was in no danger zone. Now ball played long to try find a golden mashata. Cleared away of danger. I mean, this man, that is a Steny Biliati, a pacey one. As a young man was substituted at the previous game against the Comores. Now a shot is taken in, a header coming from Maxwell Baipi. Ball swung long, guided by the big man, Golden Mufento. Seem to have everything is doubling up with the names and surnames of the Zambian squad. There's a Golden Mufento and a Golden Mashata and a Prince Mumba and a Mumba. The surnames are very, very close to each other. Coach not yet bothered, but steadily trying to adjust to the style of play Malawi is presenting to them. Ball played low, trying to find the big man up front, and makes a quick turn. Lanjesi Mkoma. Ball back to Lanjesi, who goes on a wide, but a big man like Lanjesi should have given that ball and then made his run into the box, because he's the strongest or the biggest to bully these the likes of Zambia, the likes of John Chisimba, who have a solid defense mentality. You know that the previous match, Comores and Zambia met, the likes of John Chisimba were one of the goal scorers, as well as Bulaya, also scored in the 45th minute. Makalima never shy to just instruct young stars and give them a clear indication that certain things are unacceptable. Now the ball swung in, inviting, of course, but the number of Zambian players is just too many, having to see about 8 players in the box, and Malawi just leaving with 6. Obviously, rather everyone now for Malawi is in the box defending. That is Zambia. Now the ball is swung in. Keeper now comes out comfortably, collects it without any player obstructing him, any contestation rather. It was Patrick Schuma, aspiring teacher, and he's like challenged a certain subject. He might be the person to go to. Golden Mashata from Green Buffalo is a tweed. As the young Golden Mashata, his brother is Godfrey Mashata, who plays for Vector FC. So he left his brother back at home, and he said, let me go represent, and if I go, you go too. So in spirit he's with him. Fourth official is going to be at work today, as monitoring the coaches who get carried away in the moments, and they eventually find themselves stepped out of the technical area, and it becomes a challenge for the fourth official. Well, ball played long to try to find Jimmy Mukia. Swung in to try to find the Speedy Gonzalez, pacey young man. looks of an alert player there. Keeper just trying to find a balance for the ball because it might get blown away by the wind while he's backpedaling. Oh, seems to be going too far back. Oh, got the connection right. Still, the ball doesn't go where he wants it to go. Rather, the ball stays out of the field in his own half. So ideally, why don't they play it short and just try and allow the centre backs to push the ball, to punch the ball while it's in motion. It seems to be a very busy centre of the park. And referee Akona Makalima will just be blowing and blowing those whistles there in the centre. Three represented by Zambia and four players. That is Malawi having lots of Zebron Kalima. Here's a cheap over, or rather a freak over to try find the big man than Jesse Nkoma. Unlucky there, he couldn't make it in time. The ball drilled long to try find the new man, Jimmy Mukea, but denied the access to pace it down. Young man is sitting there at the back here. That is Yomikani Mulungeni. Patrick Mabedi will be up on his feet, monitoring the movement of the players, and just on behalf of the players will also be monitoring the opposition, and they shift dynamics when they change gears to try to come at him with a different strategy. So a ball played long to find that man better, but still no succession in that. I say that Zambia is seeing the most with the high balls. Everything that they take up so flies back to them. You have John Kenny Mulohedi, who's part of the goal scorers so far. Corner given it to Malawi. Lots of Lanjesi Nkoma. In there as well, just waiting to register his second goal. Here's an in-swinger to the first pole. Still not enough power for Zambia to clear the ball. I can tell you the wind is really playing a huge factor against Zambia. Now here's the Zambian side popping out with the ball on the ground, but denied the chance to just get into the box. Young man that is David Dawoodi. You can't take anything away from him. Forever energetic, forever alert, the young man David Dawoodi. Reminds me of a hard-working young man from South Africa. That is Ethan Brooks. Yesterday put in a decent shift, put in a decent work rate, but it's just that unfortunately they had to bow out, especially after having not winning that match. That had they won it, it would have been a different story for them. Now ball to Stanley Biliati, who passes the opponent. I can tell you that here's a pacey golden Mashata. Gold, reminds me of Papa Penny's song. That is gold. If you know Papa, if you don't know Papa Penny. Now here's a chest from Prince Mumba, trying to find the big man, unable to just bury that chance. But ideally, it was a good move coming from the main man, Prince Mumba, looking for Jimmy Mukea. Ball go out from Mumba. Ball with Mumba to Andrew Piri. Andrew Piri swings it in, and do they have the players? Yes, of course. An appetite coming from Jimmy Mukea. Just popping out there and giving credit to the cross and appreciation that they tried to locate him. That is Jimmy Mukea. Oh, hasn't registered a goal so far. Ball played in the center again. Prince Mumba finds a way of dishing it out to Jimmy Mukea. Mukea has the support from his Martin Njovu. Now Njovu reaches to the far line, but forcing a corner from Josefi Balaski. Oh, wind speed hasn't really come down that much. If you look at the branches, it's just getting blown away. But will come right. Eventually adjust and adapt to the pace of the wind. Eventually you will be able to play. Referee says hold it. And stop playing. Let's now take it afresh. If you remember very well that this very same man, that is John Chisimba, is the man that scored from that very same position, but on the other side. And if they continue to give him room, now they will really find themselves being punished, because he's got the technique and he's got the power. Look at the ball really going, serving the back rather than going towards the direction it's meant to go. Now turning by Joshua Mutale. Now Mutale puts it in and finds that man Jimmy Mukea and pokes it towards the keeper, over the keeper. And you must say, some celebrations can really look painful. However, this one is just a joyful one. They wanted the goal. They put pressure on Malawi despite the wind. I was talking about that very same man, Joshua Mutale, just never giving up, making sure that he loses the opponent, and their poke of the ball towards the net. He knew where he wanted to get it to. Now defenders, just ball watching the ex of Haji Iwali could have poked that ball, and Blessing Mpokera was unable to just intercept from the onset when he was beat up. Well, we must say, fresh legs, a new man has registered his goal in this tournament. Well, clearly they put you on the bench for something. No, here's a man who's just having an argument with the fourth official. I suppose it's issues of him having to step into the field and then attend back. Oh, now Zambia won and Malawi nil, and Zambia has lost one technical staff member to the grandstand. Oh, lucky enough for him, he can still get to watch the game on the grandstand, and it's an empty stand, so he's got the whole 10,000 seating stand. Now it is just a whole 10,000 sitting grandstand for himself. Now Malawi would be a worried side here because they will then have to push and try get a goal if they want to progress, if they want to just be comfortable with their process or their progress in this group stages. with Malawi, the big man, that is Lanjesi Nkoma. And now Malawi looking for that comeback or equalizer, and Akona says, no, your tackle wasn't of the greatest. You really did infringe the other player. Well, it's all about how best they can take this one. Well, it seems to be a pushing and shoving of players. If you look at it, he had lost the ball and it was a 2-on-1. Now the foot coming from number 2 rather, Andrew Piri, was the one that actually kicked this young man. I think Akona was just lenient there and not issued a card because David Taudi was actually kicked off the ball and the ball had already left there. Oh, Coach Patrick Mabedi will be coming up with plans of an equalizer. Set piece that is at Malawi's advantage, and if they take it right, they take it well, they might equalize it. Very tight angle or very close. A man who haven't really issued a smart technique, shot at goal, but maybe here he's most likely going to go for a direct shot and try to pierce it through the wall. That's if the wall will shift. The wind is just not doing great for him. The wind is just not allowing him to play it. But now eventually they find a technique or a smart way. Now here's a second chance of a shot and a protest for a handball. And the referee says it bounced off. The players are back. Water break just when you're about to take on a corner. Momentum gone. Could have maybe waited for the corner to be taken. That's of a corner, and maybe then gave them that water break option. Oh, wind speed is still at 47 kilometers an hour, and it is in advantage of Malawi for now. But Zambia have popped out of and showed up that they want this goal bad. Now, a man with the skills, that is, who was substituted, that is Joshua Mutale, just forcing it in, and Jimmy Mukeya was able to slot it on top of, just above the keeper. I see this celebration had a player's hip on. Oh, the skill there was good. A potential handball coming could have come out of this man blessing Mpoker, and he pulled his hand away, but this man said, I'm gonna poke it into the net. Coach Patrick Mabedi says, my boys, you can still get yourself scoring a goal. And being a coach like Patrick Mabedi, he understands how to bring himself back into the game and how to just get over the hurdle. Well, here's a man who got himself that red card. Well, now he finds a better view, which is on top of the grandstand and with the delegates. So not all is lost for him. He still gets to watch the game, but it doesn't get to talk to the players. Well, Mozambique and Angola have sealed their place in the semi-finals of the COSAFA qualifiers, and for the total under-20 AFCON and Mauritania 2021. Nice and cool. That is definitely a secured deal for them. And a bit of a cloud just moving away, and a bit blue. Oh, the skies are blue, you know, on a cloud 9 type of a sky. Say corner kick by Malawi, strategizing that man Zebron Kalima, and, looking into just getting it right. They seem to be traveling a corner. There's two. Every time there's a set piece, she goes to the number 4 to tell them, Golden, you're not doing it right. So and so with Golden, you're not doing it right. They are just asking for her to reach for her pocket, and maybe eventually issue something that will stop this scaffolding. Now a ball swung into the first ball, but again a corner has been considered. Ball swung in, but cleared away by Golden Mashata. Well, having numbers and numbers and numbers brought back by the Zambian side. Well, South Africa needed to beat the young Mambas to finish top of the pool, but it was just not their day. That's a bit tricky one. It was a bit tricky one after putting so much hard work and so much effort. As the host nation, you bow out early in the tournament, and now you get to watch it at home. Oh, certain players will be then coming back. Oh, what a way of seeing flags firing off the poles, and a young man hanging there just holding the rope. If anything, you do not want to see a Superman with a flag on his back. The COSAFA flag is almost going to be into the ocean if they do not take it down. Now, Mumba is a player to watch out for in the center, but he hasn't seen much. But Prince Mumba has seen much of the ball, and he's been just a solid player going forward, and also being that defensive additional member to assist the 4 defenders. Here's a chance and pushing coming from Prince Mumba. A draw took Mozambique to 7 points and the number, and onto that number 1 position. There was a bit of pushing coming from Prince Mumba, pushing Stanley Biliati. Oh, this set piece will also be affected by the wind. It's just pushing the ball and pushing the ball, but he gets it right. Again, numbers being brought back to defend. Numbers are being brought back to sit behind the ball. And Zambian side working as a team and defending as a team. Forced to just give away a throw-in. That is Yamikani Mulukheni. Coach is put an emphasis that we work as a team. Keeper comes out and really gets his hand there on the ball and quickly gets up. But this man, Andrew Piri, had he gone for a first time a shot at goal, it would have been better. Keeper Patrick Kichuma playing a superhero to try and clear that one away, and gives away a throw-in. The foul there, so pushing and stepping on each other, and corner says rather it's a foul for Zambia ask the player to quickly step out and come back later when he's feeling better. That is Josefi Balakasi. No, he's a player who normally gets himself involved in the match up front, but he hasn't seen much of that today. Maybe he's still early, still absorbing the pace being brought by Zambia. Chance to find Jimmy Mukeya to Martin Njovu, who balloons it over the crossbar. Maybe you could have added a few touches and gotten closer into the box. Try cut it back, find your teammate. Lanjesi chasing there, but Patrick Schumer says we still have this under control. South Africa and Zimbabwe hopes of the best runners-up place are also dashed, as the calculations for that place means the results against the bottom team in Group A and B are discarded. Well, colleague Lirato alluded earlier on about this cutting off points, and you have to just understand that it is heartbreaking sometimes. That means the wins for the pair against Lesotho are stripped away, and they finished on 2 and 1 point respectively. So South Africa finished on 2 points, and Zimbabwe finished on a point. Biliati trying to get his groove on, get his groove back. Lanjesi just struggling there up front, especially playing against people with the same structure, the same height, the Matthew Shabalala, the Golden Mafento, just competing with him most of the time for any high ball. Here's a goal scorer, Mukeya, laying it for the singer of the ball, Joshua Mutale, who's coming closer and closer to assist with the counter attacks. Well, defending champions Zambia, a point would still see them staying with on that #1 spot, but a win is just another sign that they do not want to bow out, or they do not want to concede or lose a game or draw a match in this tournament like they did last year, where they went all to win all the way and throughout to the final. Here's a 1v1 between Haji and Jimmy Mukeya. Mukeya still on the run. It's a ball one to what that man, Chikondi Mbeta. If Malawi, anything was to happen, they were to win this match, then it will take them ahead of Zambia on head-to-head calculation and potentially the top. So if Malawi comes back here, they score a goal, or an equalizer still gets them right, but a win then it puts them on top. Swatini waiting and just waiting to see the outcomes, and maybe, hopefully, if all goes well, if all it favors them, then they possibly will advance. Time-wasting tactics and strict rules coming out of a corner, just saying high corner. Now here's a striker blocked by Malawi, and then ball falls on to the main man, Mumba. Prince Mumba goes wide. To that very same man who's always putting quality crosses, that is John Chisimba. Put under pressure, Malawi most of the time are forced to just kick the ball away because numbers are pressing. Coming from Zambia, just too many, uncontainable. Golden Mashata forever pressing. Ambitious turn and shoot situation just happened there, but we don't blame you, player. You are alone up front. Biliati, he comes out to try and combine it with a big man. That is a Josefi Palaski. Chisimba to Golden Mashata. Mashata back to Chisimba. Ricochet is from one of the Malawi bodies there. Intercepted when it was played long. Now here's a pass to Lanjesi versus Matthews Shabalala, but Matthews is say rather safe than sorry. Let me just concede a throw-in, bring my team to defend, then we start again. Ball is still with it. Malawi Zebran Kalima trying to beat his man, and fortunately it's just a too tight angle for him. Ball is swung in there, and Biliati was just waiting to see which direction it's going to go. It was right next to Andrew Piri. Could have been a third, maybe, had he put pressure. Prince Mumba having a word with the ref, and seems to be going to be a wait because medic had just been called onto the pitch to try and attend to Golden Mashata. He's a 19-year-old Golden Mashata. Coming from Green Buffaloes in Zambia. The referee says rather treat him from outside. There's a child enough time already. Just help him up and guide him outside so the game can continue. Well, Malawi are still having a conversation, and the ref says let's play. Well, you've got substitutions in the bench. Would you want to make the changes now if you are Zambia? Because you have the likes of Chipoka Song. There's a possible substitution as well. And there's Elliot Kampukesa. Oh, there's a bicycle kick. Luckily, it did not have contact with any player coming from Mumba. Communication becoming a challenge in the center there. Two players going for the same ball. Clearance not the greatest, but the greatest in the field of the park is showing his personality. Prince Mumba quickly reacted to that clearance and just tries to roll it forward. Just taking players out. That is Maxo Upaipi. He's on a yellow card, so he wouldn't want to be finding himself in any referee's books. to be swung in by that big man, but the wind is still not giving him what he wants. But John Chisimba improvises with the run to try and force maybe a throw in, and that's what he got. Now, center of the park being intercepted by Joshua Mutale. Malawi just being able to get out of the danger zone and win the ball as quickly as they can, but their passing is becoming a challenge because they can't seem to combine 5 or 6 touches. Ball at John Chisimba and trying to juggle it and clear it away. Yamikani Mulukedi. Ball with Golden Mashata trying to find the goal scorer Jimmy Mukeya, but intercepted again by Malawi. Jimmy Muketa puts on a fight, but throw in for Malawi. Still throwing. Malawi just getting closer and closer. I can tell you the interesting part about this Group B is that Zambia have just been winning and winning and winning, and Namibia having won 1 game and lost 1. Now ball put in, a keeper comes out and collects that one at its greatest height. Well, nothing to bother this man. That is Patrick Chuma. Malawi. That is just won a game and lost 1. The goal difference is also going to be a factor later on. And of course, obviously, that Comoros are currently playing with Namibia at the Kelvindale Stadium. Also a game to look out for, because there's somebody who's waiting by the door, or a nation that is just waiting by the door to see how things turn out. It is the Kingdom of Eswatini. You're probably watching from the hotel. Here's the goal scorer, Jimmy Mukeya. Was forced to come in deep, and Prince Mumba bring support structure again, taking the ball high. Eventually it goes out, gets blown by the wind back to its coming, and it goes out. Struggles to play this year when it's Jimmy Mashata because of the high balls that are being sent to him. Deals with throwing this time round. Things stand so that a team that are bowed out is the only team with a hat-trick in this tournament so far. It's a number of games remaining. Things can turn, and Lanjesi. Here's a strike. They're trying to trouble the keeper, and again a follow-up strike, but nothing to worry the keeper. He recovered and covered the first pole. Now Zebron Kalima will be proud of himself. He needed maybe to hit a touch. But this man, Patrick Chuma, was able to deny the goal. Oh, here's Zebron trying to lose Andrew Piri. Eventually, Joshua Mutale to support with a double marking and not give him the room he's looking for to take a cross, or rather drill it in. And played away to 1v1. Patiently playing. It's a young man. In the center there is David Dawudu. Keeper goes for long to try find Lanjesi. The fresh legs. The first game. There is a blessing Mpokera to Maxwell Baipi, who strikes that venomous shot towards the keeper. And Lanjesi to Biliati. Oh, Biliati uses a two-man, and is he going to get across? Wanted to go for goal, but went all the way above the frame of goal, over the frame of goal. Here's a build-up of that goal, and Maxwell Baipi was unable to just beat this man, Patrick Schumann, and the follow-up shot, I mean, coming from Zebron Kalima, was not much to slot itself into the first pole. The players that are just really testing the referee, and the referee is now not calling the first 8. He's just asking him to stand up and rather step out, as whatever he's asking for cannot be brought to him. He was limping earlier on, and well, Akona says enough is enough of the first half. Let's go to the change room. Let's go digest a few pointers highlighted by the coach, and we will then come back at the second half. And a bit of a tongue lashing coming from Akona there to the Zambian squad, and it seems to be heard very well. Well, for Malawi, they will look into coming back and getting that one important goal to help them advance, because as things stand, first half it is Zambia 1 and Malawi 0. There's a bit of a chance that Malawi got in a corner kick, but Patrick Schumann was able to quickly grab that one at its greatest height when Lanjesi Nkoma was just advancing, trying to make that header. Cross coming in from Andrew Upiri. Still was no goal, but what matters is that Jimmy Mukea was able to just compete for that ball, and well, nobody was really marking him. He just showed out of no. Here's that opportunity that Joshua Mutale created to lose that man, Zebron, and putting across to find the man who's been just knocking at his final third. That is Jimmy Mukea, and eventually he gets himself in the scorer's books. Dealt with him, and just a smooth operation. And Jimmy says any part or any limb of the body scores as long as you can see the net take the ball there. And of course his celebration says it all. There's that opportunity Maxwell got, and Baipi was unable to get it right, and Zebron Kalima tried as well to follow up with the near post, but the keeper was really alert and up and had covered the first pole quite well. Oh, he'll be proud of himself. Well, halftime statistics still say goal attempts 2 and 5 for Malawi. However, ball position is 61 and 39 for Malawi.
9 for 7. 9 for 7. 30 seconds. 9 for 7, Zambia. Substitution.
Yeah. Player who also just never let it go, slide without it putting a fight. It is Derek Bulaya just to add on with Jimmy Mukeya. The number of players that have seen more than enough minutes, or rather they've seen pretty much all the minutes in these games. For Zambia with Matthew Shabalala, also one of the players who just could maybe come on. And Prince Mumba and Mumba in the center of the park. Oh, Golden Mashata is already being called out to rest after just getting that knock. What the coaches have said to the stars of Malawi and how they can bring themselves back to life. Here, there's an attack mode coming there, but the ball cleared away by that man, Matthew Shabalala. The foul for Zambia and totally it takes it. That is Matthew Shabalala still just seeing the effects of the wind. That's blowing the ball every now and then. The players will try to keep it on the ground. Forced to play wide. The first touch attempt, not one of the greatest. Maybe could have tried a two-touch more than going for that first touch. You see here, but Malawi not going to pump the ball by the looks of things. They seem to be starting it from the back, and you have players like Josefi Palakasi and Haji Wali. They need to be alert enough and need to be ready for the high pressing. Now here's a shot coming from Prince Mumba. It deflects of Haji Wali's feet. Haji Wali goes to Blessing Mpokera, who then tries to find Yamikani Mulukhedi. Throw in for Zambia. This is John Chisimba. Still in the danger zone of Malawi. Is unable to clear it, and Zambia keeps on floating it in, and here's a pass coming from John Chisimba to find Jimmy Mukeya, who was unable to return it or just read the movement. Target man Lanjesi Nkoma will find it difficult now that he's playing against the wind. Any high balls that are being played towards him might be of a challenge for him. Yomikeni to rather Blessing to Haji, who then floated in. Now here's a chance for Malawi coming from Chikondi Mbeta. Still on a front foot. Zambia now on a counter attack. It's a 1v1 situation. Clearance not convincing here. And the handball coming off. David Daoudi. And Patrick O'Leary would be worried now because he's playing against the wind, and Zambia have players who've got the technique. There's the arm of there, or the hand rather, and bounced off his body then to the hand. Now here's a set piece taken by this man, John Chisimba. Oh, he's got the technique, he's got the power. Now let's wait and see what Chisimba has, but it goes over the crossbar. Nothing to trouble the keeper there, that is Hastings Banda. Played from the back. Then launch forward to Lanjesi. Met that Matthews, rather Colden Mafenta, who's tall enough and has got the appetite, rather the hunger to just go for any high ball that is being played. Prince Mumba there, that's sticking his foot in from behind. And the ref saying rather dangerous, Prince. Ball is swung in against the wind, and a missed kick going there. And here's a chance for Malawi, but referee he says you've been pulling and pushing players, so I can't.
Yes, I like you.
Now here's that incident, of course, Maxwell Upaipi being the player to commit that foul. Fight coming from the goal scorer, just cleared by Haji. Still Malawi not wanting to launch high because it might just fly back to them or float back to them. Foul there coming from Zebron Kalima. Finds himself in Akona's books. Well, it is a second yellow card. You know what that means, right? And, well, not in this match, the first yellow card coming from the previous match. And he gets himself booked again. And, Malawi has made a substitution. It is well, we rather say now Patrick Mwanguru will be replacing Maxwell Opaipi. Let me see what Patrick can offer here. This seems to be having a potential because it's coming early in the stages. No, something from the training ground, but not materializing. And Haji just guiding the ball out there. still high, and Golden and Mafento will just be a happy man if they keep them bringing high. He's just there to win any high ball, any ball that is played. Now here's a combination play, and Malawi coming in with a crosser coming from the far side of the pitch. Rather go for goal. Rather go for goal. Oh man. Well, this was the man who was past the ball and just couldn't get there on time. That is Biliati. And a man who just came on was the one who just created that opportunity. Hola, Prince Mumba. He's an instrumental player. He came out to the previous match substituted because he had a fair share of his run, and the coach felt they needed to just invite him out for a bit to come have a bit of water and a break. Catch us live, of course, on www.COSAFA TV, and if you've got Twitter, Facebook and Instagram, just get to share your views on maybe see what you can advise the team to do if you have football knowledge. In this instance, Zambia still leading, and cross coming in from that man, Yamakani Muluheri. Still becoming a challenge for Zambia to get the ball in, to get the ball into the box and find those big men up front. Ball brought in. Now cleared away by Zambia, not wanting anything in their box. John Chisimba, set piece taker. Pass profited by Prince Mumba, and they find that big man Derek Bulaya, who then plays with Jimmy Mukea, but oh man, that is a blessing. Mpokera was able to rather deny that goal scoring opportunity. And Job, easy one or first one, it doesn't really. They're not going to bother Zambia. They will take it slow if they can. It's a 2-on-3. There's Andrew Piri to Prince Mumba, and here's Mukea coming out, the keeper already just charging off. Oh, look at it. Semi-final matches will be played as follows. If you're winners of Group A, you will playing against winners of Group C, and the winners of Group B versus best second place team. That is waited to see who rather that is. In the event that the best second place team is from Group B, the semi-final match will be played as follows: winners of Group A versus winners of Group B, and winners of Group C versus best second place team. You know that Eswatini is still in the chase and in the hopes. And I hope that other side of the pitch with the Kelvin Taylor Stadium is things are going okay. Just to get to foul given to Zambia. Here's a big man that is blessing him. Poker just putting his body and his legs, not allowing us young man Joshua Mutale to make those runs. And substitution by Malawi. And bringing on this young man Emmanuel Usaviel. Substitution, Zebran Kalima. Saviel is familiar with the games because he's been coming on and starting sometimes. He will then just help carry the team through. Ball played light and finds two big man and a quick turn, but it's just unlucky there that Martin Njovu was unable to slot that one into the net, and he had an open one, unmarked. Now it's 2v1. There's a struggle to just find the two players on the right hand side. That were Stanley Biliati and that man who also assisted with the pace, that is Chikondi Mbeta. Prince Mumba just doing more pressing and protecting his half. Ball swung in to keeper Malawi sees that Hastings Banda is still alert, is still able. Malawi on the front foot and gets himself a nice shibobo, but the cross not met by anyone from Malawi. Give credit that somebody should have charged to the first pole, and this man Stanley Biliati is getting himself now here's that swift shibobo between the legs, and Biliati getting that second ball that came through the legs and puts in a cross, but his teammates, the likes of Chikondi Mpeta and Lanjesi Nkoma, were not near the first pole, so couldn't just get there on time and maybe force the keeper to come out. Hard tackle, and Prince Mumba, you could hear him scream from here, and the referee was very close to him, and she says hi. And you must know when they say that there's no chance. Well, showing of stars coming from Stanley Biliat, and Prince Mumba obviously getting that knock from Prince Biliat, and he went down, screaming and screaming, but look at him now, just having a chat with his teammates and walking so nice. Ball wasted, nothing much to bother the Malawian side. Ball crossed in by Andrew Piri. That's a clear by a Blessing Mpokela. Still shot from the back. As the Malawian team are just not wasting any balls, taking them high, because they will still have to come back and mark. Here's a chance for Malawi. Ball swung to the full back, that is Yamikani, but forced to go back. Well, the first touch wasn't the greatest. Finds Jimmy Mukeya, poked away by Blessing Mpokela, but support structure coming again from that man Joshua Mutale. And again, John Chisimba to Yomagani Molokheri, and he's floated in to find the man on the bike, the man on the money, Chikondi Mbeta. It's a 1v1 situation, and he cuts it back in, and unable to be cleared by that man. Still in a danger zone, but cleared by the Zambian holding midfielders that are sitting there. That's of Mumba. big man Haji Wali taking on the responsibility of pushing through and through. Now he swung a good ball and finding his teammate who could have had a better first touch. That is the man who came on, Patrick Mwanguru, that denied the room by Andrew Upiri. Man with fresh legs. Number of corners, Malawi has 7 and Zambia only 1. Cross is swung in. Do you have the height but to clear the by a big man at the back and just not making any mistakes, just being able to get it out of the danger zone. Big pass to Hastings Banda, who's comfortably playing it back to Haji Ivali. In the center of the park is still domination coming from Zambia with those players. Now here's a man, Derek Bulaya, in search for his goal. But the referee says there was a foul, and ball blew a whistle and started from the back again. Ball passing and a high pressing if you are going to pass them long in your own half, and Zambia is going to intercept most of them, and if you keep the passes short and bring your teammates to rather collect from the center, the likes of David Dawoodi and Patrick Mwanguru, Zebron Kalima was on out, and the Emono Usaviel has just come closer to collect these balls, because pumping it, the wind is just not in favor, and especially when you're a keeper who would perhaps struggle with the technique. You'd find the ball just flowing right in your own half. As I was just saying, he does exactly that, and still not out. Now John Chisimba to Derek Bulaya, but a ball intercepted, and the referee says it's a foul. Now, for now, Zambia's national team is the leading team in the Group B, with 6 points, followed by Malawi and Namibia with 3 points each. And as things stand, it's just going to be more interesting and more open. The set piece taken by John Chisimba, just to float it in, and a header coming from that man out of nowhere. It is this man sitting on a brace, and the first game and 2 goals. Or is it something of interest and something of an amazing feeling for him, Jimmy Mukeya, forever timing his runs, forever finding himself just popping in between and just popping in between and trying to get it right, and he gets his runs quite very well. Look at that marking. Now Wali Haji turned and faced the keeper instead of him just going for the ball. You're a center back, here's a player right behind you, and let's give credit to the pass as well. Good weight, good height, and number 7, that is Haji Wali, will look at this later on and say, I could have perhaps went for the ball than to wait for my keeper. Well, I can say Jimmy Mukeya, second goal in this match. Can he go for 3 and be one of the hat-trick scorers? Because as things stand, we have only one. That is Sinenjongo Mkiva of South Africa. Now here's a ball played in, and now here's a bit of a skill losing the player, but unable to just drill it in time. That is Patrick Mwanguru. No, it is Zambia 2 and Malawi 0. 69 minutes have gone by on the clock, and Zambia having 2 players who are potentially going to be a substitute and coming on. And look at Samuel. Look at, here's that a bit of skill just just leaving the man down. He could have caused some sort of pain for that man, Patrick Mwanguru. You would wanted to make these substitutions if necessary. And just give some of the legs resting minutes. Seems to be an animated some discomfort expressed on the bench there by managers of Malawi. He's screaming and shouting. The ref has already blown the whistle, so she has read the substitutions. Well, it is water break, so the substitutions can still take place as soon as they go back. Well, Coach Patrick Mabedi could be running out of ideas and just being all expressive and being all vocal and gesture-ish, should we say, and just reacting to the referee's calls that were made earlier on. But you can't turn anything back, and you can't change anything. The whistle is gone. Well, the wind speed is still on 47 kilometers an hour. Well, temperature is 21 degrees Celsius, and the players are still keeping it heated up. That is the Zambian side, and the cooling break maybe will then see them scoring a goal. I must say that life is good in the hood when we have colleagues that are just that just ready for any action and any moment. That's why we just give it to you as it is. Oh, here's that set piece coming there. And this man timing his run in between the two centre backs. That could have actually done a better. Centre backs that could have maybe communicated as in who goes for the ball and who guides the man. John Chisimba has got the technique and the weight and the idea.
Substitution, Zambia. Number 8, Martin Brown out. Number 6, Peter Banda in. Substitution, Zambia. Number 13, John Chisimba out. In number 5, Peter Chikola.
The Zambian side resting most of the players who've had a good run in this tournament too. We played pretty much all these 90 minutes that have been there. Now this is Chikola coming on in replacement of Chisimba. Why not to give them a run? They've already sealed it. And Jovu will be the man out, and this man who's just been set on the bench, that is Peter Banda, who will be assuming the role of Jovu. Substitutions in very crucial areas, substitutions in areas where you've seen most of the players being dominant at, where you've seen most of the players just putting more work in that in those positions. And John Chisimba was at a fair run of the first half, was putting those valid crosses in, and he is now resting because he's done his part for this match against Malawi. Of course, put in Malawi able to keep that on within their space. Now here's another combination play. Here's Bulala taking a strike. More ideally was there, and it's just unfortunate. It went away from the frame of goal. It's wind speed is something else, you see. It's just people who work nice. Here's a run from this man Chikoti, but blocked by the keeper. That is Patrick Chuma. A good recovery, good reaction rather from the keeper. That's just the timing is wrong and knowing when to go down. It was a one-on-one situation and he was able to just be the hero. Man, that is Patrick Mwanguru. Keeper seems to have felt the impact of the ball in that one-on-one situation.
If you're wasting time, I will add time. You will not touch, nobody touch.
Rather,
If you're wasting time, I'll add time.
Good.
Madam Akona Sheriff says you were not touched, nobody touched you. And some of the delegates are just laughing here and also selecting the man of the match. And the referee says nobody made contact with you and I cannot play games with you. That's Akona for you. No, coach, that is a cool, calm and collected as a cucumber, if a cucumber is calm, and just waiting to see how his troops can control the tempo of this game, can control the pace of this game, because Malawi going to throw everything at them and they need to be defensively smart. Or they say that Bobo is rather the main man who got the whole grandstand to himself, and his water is keeping it cool and adhering to the social distancing rules and regulation. But with that space, they said 1.5 to 2 meters. He is close to 80 meters away from people. Take no chances. There's a ball coming off the shoulder of Derek Bulaya. Ball in Zambia's goal scorer now being monitored very tight by that man. Well, it's pretty much too late. Haji, you could have done it earlier than that. Pulling coming from Bulaya. Ball played in the back to Blessing. Oh, he passes it to Prince Mumba, who attempts to take a strike. But not enough power coming from that man. If you want a time-wasting tactic, that sometimes it does chow the seconds on the clock. But Malawi able to win it and get out of the situation. Still Malawi on the ball. And that big man can't seem to have control over the ball. Too many touches coming from him. Just unable to pass it at first attempt. Ball sent in and launched to try and find that man who's been quiet, that is Chikondi Mbeta. And Golden Mafenta has been just a keen defender. Hasn't had any hectic tackles coming from him. Ball just throw in, the keeper coming out, but not sure if they go for the ball, but seems to be a lack of communication between Matthews Shabalala, Golden Mafento and Patrick Schuma, the goalkeeper. had two balls in the field and there was a bit of confusion. Can he turn and face the game? Passing and getting out of situations is easy for Malawi. The ball is played in and finding Erdman Lanjesi alongside Chikondi Mbeta. Played back to Blessing Mpokera, who loses Derek Bulaya, who came pressing with a pace, and he was just unable to win that one. Now another man is Stanley Lanjesi. Ball is put in. Can I get an equalizer? Not an equalizer, rather, but a goal to bring them back into the game. I can tell you that the passing and moving as a unity is going to see Malawi getting more chances in the box, more goal scoring opportunities being created. If they play the ball in the air, there's less opportunities. But with them, the passing and just moving around, here's a cross. That was not really well taken. The strike. Keeper guides that one out. Here's the attempt where just Lanjesi pulled the two centre backs towards him and he cut it back in. I said, this man lacking the technique, Patrick Mwanguru could have maybe had a deflection there and it came off to be a corner kick. Well, the attempt was not bad. The attempt was a promising goal. Still, the passes are just coming right, and they're just keeping them short and closer to each other. Ball is swung long. Now striking coming from charges from nowhere. This is David Dawoodi. I can tell you there's one thing that is just happening. A bit of drama it is. That Namibia have just scored a goal and they're a goal up at Kelvin Dale Stadium. And Steven Damasab, the captain, led his troops to scoring that goal. Now we will just have to soldier on and hope and wait to see how things end up. And the Kingdom of Eswatini is still hopeful that they are one of the best losers. Malawi will be getting a cross in and putting the height, but the referee has blown the whistle and gave a yellow card to Joshua Mutale, who No, should things end this way, Malawi will be sad, of course, because no, the goal difference will then affect them, and Malawi will then have to bow out of the competition because the goal difference is going to count against them. It's going to be very tough and sad once they learn that this man has orchestrated their exit in this tournament. Should it end this way? If a goal with conceding 2 goals as well. I mean, for defending your championship, then it simply means that they're not here to play, they're here for win after another win. There's no brotherhood that give us a point. Let us rather be safe and go together. It seems to be not happening for Malawi, and the clock is just ticking and ticking. The ball played on the side by Malawi patiently, passing on another. I think they played like this at the first half. When they were going with the wind, they would have maybe gotten themselves scoring that goal, but they started launching long. And now second half they then start playing and keeping the ball on the ground, and it's just 2 different style of plays at 2 different times. It has now affected them. It is made Zambia be on the front foot, to be on the lead, and Zambia took advantage of the wind against them. They kept the ball on the ground, and they then scored the necessary goals because they do not want to depend on any calculator. They would rather fight their way through and through. Well, it is a squad assembled between under 17s and under 20s, so unity is something that they've had. Unity is something that they've been preaching and practicing, and having conversations with the coaches as well would then tell you that they were having a good structure and using one blanket approach across all national team structures. Maybe a set piece will get it right. The referee O'Connor still having a conversation with Golden Mafento. He seems to be liking the set piece and getting to have a conversation with the referee. Golden, now here's cross swung in, and she did say that if you move from that box, from that line, I will give you a card. And she warned them, so they knew what they were doing. Prince Mumba getting himself booked by the ref there. Not necessary, really charging for the ball. No, if you get a second yellow, you are then out. And at this moment, you are rather safe. The ball is swung in as the good height. Nicely flicked over. Again, it's still Malawi trying to score, but nobody wants to direct it at goal. Nobody wants to direct it at goal. No. Centre back gets the ball in, and the keeper, second attempt, was then able to then save the ball. Here's this man putting a good cross from a centre back, but then the header, and the keeper wasn't able to save that one at first attempt, and it just went over the defenders, and the keeper was able to position himself and just grab that one. Oh, let's say lucky young man that is Patrick Chuma, and he saved the day. Oh, Malawi is really going to be chasing this one. with Zambia having the advantage with a lead of on the other side, and goal difference will then play a part. Malawi will see themselves bowing out of this tournament. You'll see it's going to be tough for them after so much work. Yes, again, this man Patrick Schumer is just dropping those balls and losing them. Oh, I will still say that if Malawi had played the ball on the ground most of the time at first half, they would have scored at least 2 or 3 goals, but they let the game go by playing high balls.
Play!
Well, still Zambia, who are playing with all smiles, and Malawi playing with just a thought of what is happening on the other end. I can tell you there's always a twist in these things. There's always a twist in these things, and here's another twist. We saw South Africa bowing out yesterday with them just having 2 points, and they probably have even arrived home. It's just a flight away. And Zimbabwe also just surviving with 1 point. And they also probably on the flight home today or tomorrow. It's very tough in this instance. Well, Angola have qualified safely so. And Zambia will be now on 9 points. Well, they are sailing through by the looks of things. And Eswatini crossing your fingers and legs to just see things go their way. They're probably watching it from the hotel. Well, I can tell you that sometimes you get information from colleagues and delegates. I can tell you there was a gentleman who just came and read it all and said Eswatini. I can just please say that it's all gone, it's all lost. They leave to fight another day, another year. Well, better luck next time. A safe travel to you guys, because there will be no us seeing you in the qualifiers, but we'll safely say we are seeing Angola, Namibia, Zambia and Mozambique. Teams that will be battling it out. Well, it's going to be a very interesting encounter, I can tell you that. I feel for teams that put on so much work and it's just not turn out right for them. If I can tell you, the people are already making predictions of the final. I do not want to jinx it. I would rather wait for it to happen. If I can tell you, there's a potential Mozambique highlighted there that they stand a better chance of being in the final. Could they face this man of Zambia, who's brought in troops who are just fighters? That is Mutapa Perry. And Coach Dario would know him better. Coach Dario would then say, I've got a plan for you should I meet you in the semi-finals or the finals. A ball played into Jimmy Mukeya, man who's at his first game and already scored 2 goals. He was just 1 goal away to making the second hat-trick of the tournament. Okay, Malawi playing it long. However, it is 4 minutes into the additional time, and referee Akona will eventually say, young man, just go and rest. Still Malawi in the chase, and give credit to Malawi for the passing drill, for the passing into spaces and movement to those spaces. They just couldn't get it right at first. Here's a cross and put in. Still grabbed by that big man, Patrick Chuma. He made his debut in 2018. He idealizes Itumele Nkune from Kaizer Chiefs. He says his nickname is Kune. There's a long-range shot towards the keeper. If you know time-wasting shots from goalkeeper, you'll then read this one. Well, coach, you've put in a good fight. You've put in a decent squad, but today there wasn't a beat. Like we would say sometimes, others are here to witness it, others are accompanying it, others are here to take it. It is still unclear if these guys from Zambia will defend this one or somebody is going to snatch it away from them. Well, it all depends on what 90 minutes presents. Coach Akona is saying to the young man, you don't play like that, but it's all good in the hood. It's been a good game, and Prince Mumba is the captain of the team, just jogging his way to help his teammates collect the man of the match. Now it is Zambia 2 and Malawi 0. Set pieces came in, trickling in, and the man himself, Chisimba John, was unable to get it into the net and just got over the crossbar. Again, Malawi combining those touches, still say more numbers in the final third. With combination play like this, they could have caused an upset for Golden Mafento and Matthews Shabalala. I must say that credit must be given to Patrick Chuma, who could have also maybe scored himself a man of the match. Again, a Shibobo to this man, Chisimba, and Biliati putting a cross with less power, but again, you need players to come closer into the first pole when we have two strikers, that is Chikondi and Lanjesi. Here's a set piece with good weight and good direction, coming from the man who got a Shibobo. That is Chisimba giving to Jimmy Mukeya, who then slotted into the back of the net. No, you give credit to the pass and the weight, and you know that you can time your run, Jimmy, and you and the ball made contact that was just given a direction into the net. And a celebration of note, this one. Again, it was Piliat finding Lanjesi, who made his runs and attacked the ball in, but this man, Patrick Mwanguru, was unable to just get this ball from Lanjesi going into the net. Maybe that could have brought them back into the game. If you are unable to score like that, rather force a handball, because you had a player down from the Zambian side and just roll it to their hand. That is Peter Banda. Oh, you had your attempt. It's just unfortunate. Patrick Mwanguru was unable to score that one. Again, Malawi had another chance that could have been a goal, but nobody wanted to take the responsibility of scoring that one, and still they got a second chance, but Patrick Schuma stretched his body and was able to just block that one with his knees. Again, the pass played to Lanjesi on the one-on-one. Again, Patrick Schuma says, I won't let you score. Oh, this one. Well, unfortunately, it was just not the greatest day for Lanjesi, but Patrick, he could day. Well, statistics are going to tell you that goal attempts are even Stevens, but a shot on target, having Malawi having more than 4 of those fouls committed, still even. Well, ball position in favor of Zambia with 52, and Malawi sitting on 48.
Thank you very much, Motlogeleng Keninda. A victory for Zambia means that they do go through into the semi-finals as the winners of Group B. Now joining me as our man of the match is Jimmy Mukeya, and that is the hero for today. 2 goals, a brace in your name. How do you feel?
I feel very much happy because this is the last game of the group. We just tried to work very hard so that we head through the semi-final. We go in with a win convincingly.
You had a very special celebration.
Yeah.
Please tell us more about that.
That celebration is just part of me since childhood. I usually beat a lot of somersaults, so I simplify it in a short way, not that full one, but I just do a short one.
Listen, congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jimmy, the star for today, a brace in his name ensures that, of course, Zambia go through. I am now joined by the Malawian coach, Coach Patrick Babiri. Coach, appreciate your time. Back-to-back defeat. Please let us in on your thoughts right now.
Yeah, look, the wind play a big role in this game. If I would give man of the match, I'll give it to the wind. Let's go straight to the game. I think we today it's just a boring game. We tried to play, but I think we couldn't play. But let me congratulate Zambia. I think they deserve. They take their chances. We had chances. We never take our chances. But players, they start to realize, I think, towards the end of the game that they can believe they can play. They started to play. But it's a learning lesson. But I'm happy at least they learned something. But overall, I think it was a good competition for them to grow and learn.
And the credit needs to go to your team, especially when you look at the way they were building up from the back, especially in the second half where they created more chances, just not clinical in front of goal.
Yeah, look, football is patient, the game. I mean, if you rush, then it's a problem. But like I said, they didn't believe themselves. And second, as time goes, last few minutes, they started to play. And you can see they tried to create so many chances. They need to be a little bit patient. But before, the patience was not there. But they learn, like I said, it's a learning process. But let me congratulate Zambia.
Thank you, Coach.
You're welcome.
Now joining me, we have the coach of Zambia. 3 out of 3 wins for the defending champions. It means that they've booked their spot into the semi-finals. Coach, I appreciate your time. Your thoughts, please?
Yeah, I think tough game, but I think the weather was not conducive for football. It was terrible. So today, the only thing we had was a game plan. I think I remember those days at Athron Stadium in Cape Town. You can't play football to coordinate, to string maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 passes. So we had a game plan. So today it wasn't about playing football, it was about the results. You could see in the first half the weather was so bad that we are pinned in our half and they were just pumping in the balls up. Fortunately enough, I think the goalkeeper was up there to save us, especially the corner kicks. So we just told our boys today it's not about, of course, Zambia is about passing football, dribbling, but today we said we are not going to allow that because whatever we have done, if we don't get the result, no one is going to say, no, Zambia was playing well, but the weather was terrible that we couldn't do anything. But well done to the boys, stuck to the game plan, and we have gotten the 3 points and we are through to the semi-finals.
And Jimmy was just saying that it helps in terms of morale heading into the semi-finals, the fact that they won this one. Let's talk about that now. You meet Mozambique in the semi-finals.
Yeah, we'll meet a team which hasn't lost, so it's going to be a difficult game. They haven't conceded, we haven't conceded, so it will be a tight game. But we have to be focused, and the most important thing is rightly so, you have put it, the morale. The morale, I think we have given chance to almost everyone, only maybe one player who has been injured, but today he was on the bench, but we couldn't risk him. So I think the morale in camp is high, and looking forward to the semi-finals.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Coach Mutapa Perry as well as Patrick Mabedi, the two gentlemen that know each other very well during this stint in the Premier Soccer League. As we look at what unfolded before us today here at the Wolfson Stadium, 2 very comfortable 2-0 victory for Zambia against Malawi, and over at Galvindale it was Namibia that were able to sail through against the Comores. It does mean that Namibia will then proceed to the semi-finals as the best runners-up from Group A. One team has made it through, and that is the Young Mambas, Mozambique, a pristine record that they have so far in the competition, having not tasted defeat. So Mozambique go through, and South Africa that have bowed out together with Zimbabwe as well as Lesotho. We look at Group B, and that was the key focus for today. Zambia go through, so we have 2 teams that go through from this group. In the defending champions, Zambia, who go through as group winners, and Namibia, the team that fought today against the Comores, they go through on the best runners-up position. When you look at Group C, Eswatini, their chances have been ruled out. They were waiting, hoping that things will pan out in their favor, but that was not to be, as Angola will go through as well. So Angola is through as the things currently stand. Eswatini and Botswana, they have bowed out of the competition. We look at how things will now unfold in the COSAFA Under-20 Youth Championship. As far as fixtures are concerned, it is Angola that will meet Namibia, and Mozambique will meet the defending champions in Zambia. We do remember what is on the cards as far as this is concerned, and that is a place in the final of the COSAFA Under-20 Youth Championship. So both games will be playing on the same day, on the 11th of December, with the earlier kickoff between Angola and Namibia, and later on it is that clash between the winner of Group A and the winner of Group B. So there we have it. The four remaining teams will have one thing in mind, and that is to try and get to the finals, because it's only then that they'll be able to book themselves a place in the Total Under-20 African Cup of Nations happening out in Mauritania. But they do have a challenge before them, and that is that tough battle in the semi-final. So the semi-finalists have been confirmed for the COSAFA Under-20 Youth Championship, and they will meet, and we'll see then who will be able to make it to the final. Well, from myself, Lerato Pajo, and the crew here at the Wolfson Stadium, it's goodbye.